Hello, everyone. How is everyone? So what I'm doing right now is I'm on my phone right now, but I am going on to my Facebook on my laptop so that I can drop a link to describe what I'm talking about today. All right. I would assume that since I'm on the page, my live would show up automatically, but again, I never did this before, so let me see. So bear with me for 1 second. Oh, there I am. Super weird. All right, so what I'm doing is commenting on, I'll just add it to the description. So what I'm doing, I'm on this live talking all about this cookbook here, and I'm putting the link to it on the live on the computer. I'm on my phone right now. Just bear with me. I never did this before. Because I wanted, what is this doing? It's just being weird. I'll just leave it in the comments. But what I'm doing, this cookbook is $15 for the remainder of this week. So I wanted to make sure that if you wanted to purchase it, it was easily accessible, so you didn't have to go and jump through some hoops. But of course, the computer is being super weird. Okay, but anyway, bear with me. I'm gonna talk all about what is in this because it is more than just recipes. There's 70 recipes in this cookbook, but there's so much more. So I'm gonna dive right into that, into what's in it. Because that was honestly the most exciting part of it for me. Like, I wanted to write this so that you would have that information. You would have the additional information as to like what a healthy diet is, and like I have Q&A in there. I have a goals worksheet. I have a meal prep guide. I have and a couple paragraphs explaining kind of how to be your healthiest self. So anyway, I'm just gonna dive right in. If you don't see the link, comment and I will be sure to get that on there for you. So this is the cookbook that took me, I feel like, forever to write. It was definitely it was hard for me because I'm not one to be in the kitchen and write down what I'm making. I'm just in the kitchen, I'm in and I'm out. I'm usually just throwing things together. I'm usually just like spiraling a cucumber and then blending up like a sauce, like a green sauce, whether it's a pesto sauce or like a pad thai sauce or a creamy cashew sauce, and then throwing that on top of the cucumber, or I'm just making some black bean pasta or some spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles, all that stuff. So it wasn't the easiest thing for me to write everything down. It was excruciating. But anyway, I did it, and I did it for you guys. So I hope that you appreciate it. So, and plus, literally, I refer back to this. I've been referring back to this all week because now I'm like, oh, that's exactly what was in it. That's why it doesn't taste differently this time. So anyway, like I said, I want to go through and show you what is in this cookbook in addition to the 70 recipes. But those 70 recipes are breakfast recipes, lunch recipes, dinner recipes, snack recipes, dessert recipes, sauces and dressing recipes, and drink recipes, like hot and cold drinks. But anyway, how's everyone's Tuesday going? What's going on? What is everyone up to? I want to hear from you. Say hello if you're watching. Leave me a comment. Ask me any questions that you may have about this. I just assume, since I may, if you have any questions, don't feel silly to ask. I'm here. But anyway, so why I really put this together, and the basis of it is, it's called Simple Balance Eats, because for the longest time since I graduated college and I got into teaching, and then I had a full-time job in addition to running this business, I've been working a lot, like building a business in my spare time pretty much. And when I sat down and thought about it, I was really working like 70, 80 hour weeks, and that's a lot. That's a lot. And I, I realized someone mentioned it to me. They brought it up and said, I have such a high threshold for like burnout. They were surprised as to like how much I could handle. Like I would always, I'm always doing something, but they were surprised like how much I can handle. And really I lend that to living a healthy lifestyle. I lend that to making sure I eat well. I lend that to making sure I'm drinking enough water. I lend that to making sure I'm getting enough sleep. Like those things are non-negotiable for me. So that enables me to work like I was working. And also the beauty of all the recipes in this book, because for the longest time I felt really embarrassed like sharing recipes that I was just throwing together, like I just said, in the kitchen and just blending this up, because all of my recipes would just say chop and then blend until smooth in the blender, and I'm like, what the hell kind of recipe is that? Like no one's gonna want to read that or follow that because it's just too simple. I just assumed that recipes had to be long, elaborate, and drawn out. So after I got over my own little insecurity about that, I realized that like the simplicity of my recipes was the beauty of them. It was why I was able to come home at 6:30 at night, throw something together for my husband and I, and then get back to work. It wasn't something that was heavy. It wasn't something that like weighed us down and made us feel like tired afterwards. They were super easy, simple recipes that were overflowing with nutrition. And that was how I was able to really take on these busy weeks with ease. And that is everything that is composed in this for you. And I find that having good nutrition is the basis to living a healthier lifestyle. So when you eat well, when you drink enough water, when you're getting enough sleep, when you're getting your workouts in, that is how you're able to essentially create balance in your life, and thus it bleeds into other areas of your life. So you may notice that you have a little more energy. You may notice that so with that extra energy you're like cleaning up a little more, and then your brain fog goes away. You feel a little bit better. So that is really in the essence of my coaching, of my health coaching, is that that's why the nutrition is such a large piece to it, because it's everything. And when you get that down, the other things kind of happen a little bit easier. So that is really what this cookbook is for me. It is it's essentially just how I'm showing you how I was able to take on these extra busy weeks with ease, and how I was able to create that foundation for myself, and to avoid burnout. Because it can be tough when you're doing a lot and you're stressing yourself out, and when you add unhealthy foods to that, or when you're not getting enough sleep, or when you're not drinking enough water, when you're not getting the exercise that you need, that can just lead to the stress and lead to the exhaustion. So nutrition is a major piece to really finding balance in your life. So that's like for those of you who are hopping on, I'm talking all about what's in this cookbook, Simple Balance Eats, because in addition to it having 70 plus recipes in here with breakfast, lunch, a dinner recipe, snack, dressing, sauces, dessert recipes, all of my favorite stuff, all healthy stuff. And it's not just like salad. It's not just like spinach salad, kale salad, a mixed green salad. No, it is things like we have like chicken wings and pizza and pad thai and stir fry and quesadillas, and there's all sorts of stuff in here. All of my favorite stuff. So literally all of my best stuff is in here. And then everything moving forward, it will be all new recipes coming from me. So, but what I wanted to kind of emphasize, and what I was saying for those of you who are hopping on, is that creating balance, it starts with nutrition. So this is how I was able to take on my busy weeks with ease, and how I was really able to have such a high threshold for burnout, so by creating health, and it was able to give me energy and really able to give me what I needed. So anyway, and And I was saying I was really embarrassed for a long time kind of sharing these recipes because they're so simple. They're so simple. I would throw together like one of my favorite little dressings was like ginger and garlic and lemon and like peanut butter, and it makes like this most delicious creamy, it's almost like a pad thai kind of flavor sauce, and I would just blend that up, put that on like spiralized cucumbers. I might blend to like make like a I'm always blending things up in my blender, so all of my recipes just say blend until smooth, or take a portobello, clean it off, stick it in the oven, top it with some cheese, top it with some tomato sauce. Very simple stuff, nothing that is really drawn out or laborious. I was actually doing a cooking demonstration one time, and I was making black bean brownies. So that's not really something that you have to be a chef to make. I mean, literally, okay? I am blending stuff up in my blender, and I said in the demonstration, I'm not really a good cook. And she's like, don't say, she's in the background like, don't say that. But I'm like, I know how to make things taste good. I know like ingredients and flavors, but I really don't know how to make like baked ziti or like, I don't know, like all those fancy dishes. I am just like really quick, simple things in and out of the kitchen, and it's healthy and tastes good and it's good to go. I think my husband knows me well enough to tell me that, and he wouldn't feel embarrassed to tell me like, this tastes gross, but maybe like one or two things every now and then might not taste that great. But I feel like that's we all have these different abilities where some carpenter might see pieces of wood and might see how to make a cool table, and I wouldn't know what to do with all that, but I see some ingredients in the refrigerator or in the pantry, and I know how to make like things taste really tasty. So anyway, and also it can be really, 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 really confusing to figure out what healthy really is. Can anyone agree with that statement? There are so many diets out there. There's so many conflicting viewpoints. There's keto, there's high carb, there's high fat, there's fruit, no fruit. It's just like, what the hell? Like, what do I eat? So there's more diets out there than ever, and we're more confused than ever before. So I kind of sum that up for everyone in here, and I have like a Q&A segment. So let me show you. Let me show you the goods that are in here, because you're like, oh great, it's a cookbook. But I was most excited about the stuff that are not the recipes to share with you. So I have when you open the book, there's a table of contents. So there's an intro, there's how to use a cookbook, why it's more than a diet, a goals journal, meal prep guide, which has a shopping list and a meal prep guide, a shopping list, and what you would eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks for each day of the week, so you can plan ahead. You can reprint it as much as you want. There's an intro. There's sorry, I just said that. There is creating healthy habits. So there's a whole page of just how to create healthy habits. In addition to what you're eating, there's a Q&A portion. There's an ingredient substitution page where if you don't eat eggs, there's an option where you can substitute it for something else. If you don't eat like peanut butter, if you're not eating meat, if you're not eating dairy, there's substitutions for everything. So you don't have to worry about if you're like vegetarian or vegan or they're gluten-free. There's gluten-free options. That was a big one. Gluten-free and dairy-free options was huge. That was one thing I got a lot of requests for about. Breakfast recipes, lunch. I think there's about 15 breakfast recipes, lunch recipes, dinner recipes, snack recipes, sweet recipes, sauces and dressings, and then drink recipes. So hot and cold drinks. And then also, I know I said for the first 30 people that downloaded the recipe book or the cookbook would get the bonus page, which is a create your own favorite, like create your own perfect lunch PDF. So these are my favorite recipes that I want to share with you because I know that they taste really good. But ultimately, I want you to be your own creator in the kitchen. If you don't like blueberries and you'd rather sub it for strawberries, feel free. Like, create, do your own thing. If you don't like, one thing and you want to swap it for another, that is completely fine. But what I encourage you to do is if you just assume you don't like something and because you haven't had it in a long time, I encourage you to try it. But again, if you don't like something, just sub it for another thing. So there's all that. But what I was just saying is for the lunch, create your own perfect lunch, is that, these are my favorite lunches and breakfasts and dinners and all that fun stuff. But you are your own person and you like your own stuff. So I'm just trying to pull up to the page. You would think I did have certain pages marked, but not that page, of course, right? The one that I'm looking for. Of course. But yeah, if you have any questions as I'm talking, drop them below. Say hello if you're watching. Happy Tuesday night. What are you all up to? What's going on? What are you guys doing? This is the page I'm talking about. Create your own perfect lunch. So I said that this was limited to the first 30 people, but I'm going to extend that for this week. This week will be the last week also that this book is half off. It will go full price at $29.99 at the end of the week, but for this week and for last week it was $15.99. So if you're interested in it, make sure you get it. And so what this Create Your Own Perfect Lunch is you can create, like, so let's say you pick one base. So let's say it's either a lettuce base, a rice base, a wrap base, or a bread base. And then you can choose like your favorite protein. So pick one protein. You're going to pick 2 to 4 vegetables. You're going to pick 1 to 2 fruit, and then the additional toppings. So if you're like in a pinch and you're like need to go shopping or making your grocery list and you're like, I don't even know. Sometimes I get like that. I literally don't know. You can buy the book if you go to ohhowhealthy.com. I was trying to post it I'm on my phone, so I was trying to post it on the website, but so I'll link it below for sure afterwards after I'm done the video. But you just go to ohhowhealthy.com and it's one of the first links. It says cookbook and it's $15.99 this week. So yes, so that is that. And then in addition to all that fun stuff, I wanted to show you what else. Thanks. So the Q&A portion, I have a lot of questions. So these are the questions that I answer on there, right? These were the most popular questions that I got. How important is it to eat organic produce? Is it practical to eat healthy all the time, even while on a budget? What diet do I most recommend? Does it matter what time of day I eat? Should I be counting calories? And will I lose weight by following the recipes in the cookbook? So these are all the good answers that I dive into in here. And I will answer that last question here on the video because how I believe is, so let's say what I believe excess weight on the body is just excess waste in the body. So your body doesn't naturally want to carry around extra weight. Your body wants to be at a certain weight, and then everything else, like stress could add to that, lack of exercise, not eating the right foods, and the waste kind of just hangs around. So I believe that when you eat the right foods, when you stick to eating lots of fruits and lots of veggies and lots of whole organic produce or organic dairy, whole grains, that weight naturally comes off. Because you're feeding your body foods that we've been eating forever, that our ancestors have been eating. You're not eating those packaged processed things. You're not eating Cheez-Its. You're not eating like 100-calorie snack packs. You're pretty much like avoiding those middle aisles, and you're eating whole foods. You're listening to your body. You're listening to when it's hungry and when it's not hungry. You're tuning into your body essentially. And I find that when you do that, the cravings go away, the weight goes away, your mind clears, you feel more focused, you feel more energized. Things balance out. this is the groundwork towards creating a balanced life. You will feel 100% better by incorporating recipes like that. And that is exactly what these recipes are composed of. Only whole foods, nothing out of a package really. There's things like there's things like BLTs in here, and there's nothing wrong with organic, locally sourced bacon. There's nothing wrong with lettuce, tomato, with some olive oil, mayo. A mayo is something you can make on your own, and some organic whole wheat bread. Like that is not an unhealthy meal. So there's ways to go about it. You can make a BLT in a very unhealthy way, or you can be smart about it and enjoy these foods you're craving. It's not about limiting yourself to diet foods. It's not. It's about enjoying the foods that you're eating. It's about eating good food and listening to your body while you're doing it. So, and then additional items that I talk about, like black bean pasta, which only has one ingredient in it, which is black beans. Those things that I have recommendations for them in the book. So if a recipe calls for something like black bean pasta, there's going to be a link that's going to take you to my recommended products. So I hope all that sounds really good to you. I hope that you grab yours before the sale runs out, and then they go to full price come next week. But yeah, I'm here to answer questions, guys. I'll hop on a few more times throughout the week to make sure that I get to your questions, and then I show you what's inside of this book, because it's more than just the recipes. There's 70 recipes, but there's so much more than that. There's information. There's a bunch of detailed paragraphs in the beginning about how to use it, what you can expect, why it's more than a diet, the questions, your goals, because you don't want this to just be another diet, right? How many diets have you done? You don't want to have that negative mentality around even the way that you feel about yourself. Like, you want to really feel your best once and for all, right? And I even talk about things like why diet is not even the best word to use. Like, diet, doesn't it just have such a negative connotation to it? So this is a lifestyle shift. And so, for example, if you're at a birthday party or a 4th of July party coming up, and you've been doing really good, and there's a piece of cake or there's cake and you're thinking about having it, have some cake. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. This is not about being restricted. This is not about another diet. This is just about making smart, informed choices about how to, live your best balanced life. So, and make sure that you're eating that piece of cake if you're eating it at the 4th of July party. Like, you're eating because you genuinely want it. Don't eat it out of a trigger, like something set you off. Don't eat it out of guilt because your sister is saying, here, have some cake. What do you mean you're not gonna have some cake? What do you mean you're you're trying to eat healthier? Like, don't let anyone pressure you into these things. But if you genuinely want the cake and you're craving the cake, that's fine. But there are alternatives in this book that you can resort to, and you can bring that to the party ahead of time. But yeah, it's all about making these smart choices and doing your best, and that is it. That's all you can ever do, is do your best and try your hardest. And yeah, so I hope that this was informational for you. And if you have any questions, again, let them know. I will be sure to drop the link to the cookbook below. And I hope everyone has a lovely rest of your Tuesday. I will talk to all of you soon. Bye.